What's good people? Welcome to Whole Views. Thanks for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey, and today we're going to be talking about Rick and Morty and doing a mid-season recap for the show as it stands right now. So I just finished watching episode 5. Episode 5 is the halfway point for the season. We're getting 10 episode runs of the show now, and so we've got episodes 1 through 5. And I used to do watch-alongs, and actually when I think about it, I haven't watched Rick and Morty in a regular way, like just putting it on the TV and enjoying it. Haven't done that in like 2 years. I did all the season 6 watch-alongs, and I started doing season 7, and I just encountered so many problems with YouTube and the copyright claims and all these different things and videos being blocked, and I tried different editing tricks and just nothing appears to be working. So I gave up on that, and I'm gonna do a mid-season recap, and then I'm gonna do a finale, talk about the finale that we get at the end of the season and just move forward like that. So with that being said, I do want to jump in and talk about the season as we have it so far. I want to talk about those first 4 episodes and then kind of go real deep into episode 5. And I want to do a little sports analogy, right? So when we talk about sports, I'm an NFL fan, I'm a college football fan. You use your record to show how good a team is. My team is the Saints. We are 5-5. We actually could be better had there been a better coaching staff, but that's a whole nother video that I could jump into and talk about. Talking about Rick and Morty, I feel like their record going into the mid-season mark is 3-2. You got 3 winning episodes, you got 2 losing episodes. And let's talk about them. That first episode to me was an L. I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. The episode that focused a lot on Mr. Poopy Butthole and how, his wife left and all that stuff, I just didn't find it funny at all. Like, I did a watch along, and it was probably the worst watch along that I had ever done because I was just sitting there watching the episode. It didn't come across as funny. It had the Hugh Jackman thing, and he popped up in there, and it just didn't hit for me. I thought about it afterward, like maybe they're doing some type of allegory for the audience that wants Justin Roiland back, but it's like, that's thinking too hard. That's convincing yourself that they're smarter than they are and better than they are. And it just wasn't that good. And so didn't like episode 1, that's an L. Episode 2 was the Juricki episode. That was a win. That was a big one. I enjoyed that one. I thought it was fun to see the relationship between Rick and Jerry be explored and see how much they actually enjoyed them, each other while their intelligences were equal. It provided quite a few laughs with the conehead joke going through the guy. Morty was kind of funny, even though he was minimal in it. I like that episode. It's one that I didn't mind returning to later in the week and just watching it again or watching pieces of it again. So Juricki, even though he turned into a hideous monster at the end, amalgamation of both, like crazy, but I enjoyed it. So cool Juricki episode. It's a win. Episode 3 was also a win. That was the one with Wong and the president, and you have Unity there as well, and the hive mind thing going on. That was a cool episode. Keith David is a fantastic voice actor, friend of the show, and I like every time that he shows up. His adversarial relationship with Rick, you learn about his, psychological issues and the need for approval. It was very nice. I thought it was funny. I laughed quite a bit at that one. There were lines that stood out that I, used along with my friends when we talk about the show. So very cool stuff in that Unity-centric episode. And you even get a little seriousness and a little continuity, a little canon in there when it talks about Unity being concerned for Rick when she knows Rick is going after the evil Rick. So that was cool that was in there. It's like a little nugget planted for this 5th episode, because they get to evil Rick. But before we get to that 5th episode, we got to talk about episode 4, which was the Suicide Spaghetti episode. And that was an L. That was a big L. And just weird. I think the writers here were flexing their writing muscles. Like, yes, we can write a story around any silly premise. And that's cool. You can write a story around any silly premise. Problem is, it's not funny and it's too awkward. Like, there was a lot of awkwardness and it doesn't make for TV that's revisitable. Like, I don't want to see any of this again. Specifically, the ending montage. Like, I had to edit my watch along for that one. It didn't let me post it either. It got blocked as well. Spoiler alert. But I edited that thing, and as I edited it, my thought was like, man, this is hard to watch. This is crazy. My main reaction to watching that was, this is horrible. This is horrible that Rick is doing this. I get the point, to make people sick with themselves if they actually consume the spaghetti produced or the synthesized version of what gets produced. But man, you didn't have to show that man's whole life, and his life was rough. Not good stuff. Not something you want to look at again. I get when they do the serious episodes, they have purpose. Because episode 5 is slightly serious. Pretty serious, actually. But this one I just didn't have taste for. So the spaghetti episode, thumbs down, that's a loss for me. So they went into the mid-season, finale is how I'm thinking about it. They went into the mid-season finale 2-2, and it was pivotal for me whether I would call the season a good season or a decent season or a bad season, how this episode turned out. And I think this episode turned out great. Episode 5 is a win. Because you have canon stuff happening. Not only do you get Evil Rick being taken down in this episode, but you also have Evil Morty playing a role we get to see as an audience. What has he been up to this whole time? We get to see how useful and how capable he is. And it's crazy that he appears to be on the same level as, or a higher level than Rick, because he's acting in such a callous way. And it was dope to see that stuff explored. I thought the show really showed off, one, its level of funny, because you get quite a few laughable moments in the events leading up to capturing that evil Rick, as well as it flexes its writing muscles and shows how to use animated production to show emotion in a way that maybe other places don't do this. So what I'm really talking about is Rick, and at the end of the episode with the blood. So Rick has beaten the evil Rick to death, and he's covered with the blood, and then you just see it kind of go through frames of him with the blood on him, and then the blood off of him, and him in different settings, and his facial expression doesn't change. And when I look at that, I think of like maybe a soldier that has gone to 2 or 3 tours in Iraq or Afghanistan, one of these war-torn places, and he's fighting and he's killing, and now he's back home and the mission has been accomplished, and like there's no more war. And so you have a soldier who's been fighting a war for X amount of time, and now he's in the world and he don't know how to operate. That's what Rick was giving off in the final moments of that episode, when he kind of snapped back at the table and looked around at his settings like, I don't have nothing else to keep going for. Like, I don't have as much purpose as I once had, because I've been driven by this hatred for so long, and now it's gone. Like, I got him. So what now? That's the thought that I'm guessing went through his mind. And again, no dialogue. All that is conveyed through music and conveyed through just the animation style. So I thought, kudos to them. You are really good writers, and you really produce a good show when you can convey that much thought in a character without any dialogue, and just really a singular animation that's colored different and placed in different settings. So real cool stuff there. Big win for episode 5. And I think the season is okay. I think if they come out and do all wins on the back end, just really good episodes that are funny and revisitable and canon related at times, it would be fire. But I have a feeling they won't. I think it's going to be a kind of an up and down season. And with Evil Rick being a non-factor, he's been eliminated. And with Evil Morty also being a non-factor, truly wanting to be taken out and left alone, where does the show go now canonically? That's the question that I have for the audience. So if you think where does things go canonically with Rick and Morty, please drop your thoughts in the comment section. I would appreciate it. That's all I got for this video, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something